We welcome you back to another edition of Nets Pod with Sarah Kustok, presented by Ticketmaster. I'm Sarah Kustok, and I'm so thrilled to be joined by head coach Jordi Fernández of the Brooklyn Nets. Jordi, it's been so much fun having a chance to have you here, have you in Brooklyn, watch you through the course of your tenure, not just coaching, but the really familiar environment that you've created and helped really push forward here in Brooklyn. When you look back at this last season, what stands out most for you about year two as the head coach?
Yeah, it's been growth, and I've had to learn how to be in this position. Obviously, when you get the job, you always believe that you're ready for it, and even though you've coached and you've been a head coach before, probably basketball is the easiest part of it. Yeah. But then you have the head coaching duties and what it means, and the amount of people that you're responsible for, and the amount of people that you got to touch every day. And I think that's been a great journey so far. I've learned, I've grown, and the best thing is being around good people. And this organization is built and is still building the right things for the right things, and we believe that we'll keep taking those positive steps.
You talk about that, and before we get into the big picture of the season, we had Juwan Howard on the podcast earlier, and in all of your coaches, I think through the course of the year we hear this, but he talks about how much ownership you give each of the assistant coaches and just the ability for all of you to work together. When you took this position, I know you've been a head coach at plenty of other stops. Why was that so important to make sure that you felt like your assistants had that much responsibility in each of their jobs as well?
Yeah, I've learned that from especially Mike Brown, Michael Malone, and Sergio Scariolo, is when somebody is investing in you, you almost like work, not just hard, but like, harder. And because you want to give back, it's like the feeling that somebody believes in you and that you're responsible to do a job. It makes you like, have that willingness to do it right, do it for the team and the right reasons. Because you want to grow and you want to take those steps, whatever your goals are in your career. But I think also is all of us. It's not about one person. It's about how we're all organized and how we work together for the team to be the best that the team can be. And that's always the mindset that I've believed in, what I've learned from others, and the way I wanted to do it here.
Yeah, with that being said, last season, there was times, and I think this, I have great fortune, thank you for letting us come sit through practices or watch shoot-arounds. There's an energy and there's a verve that everyone brings, and it has been some challenging times, I imagine, through the course of the season. What do you feel like makes you tick, makes the group tick, that allows you to have that same level of really positivity when there was some challenging stretches?
Yeah, it's a non-negotiable, and there's, one of the coaches that I worked with, and, one of my mentors and player development especially, retired high school coach, and he always said one thing that you can always control is your attitude, right? And I know it's simple, it may be cliche, whatever you want to say, but, if you show up with positive energy, and positive energy is contagious, so is negative energy. So you can wake up every day of your life and believe that it's going to be a good day and tell you that today's going to be a good day. And I'd rather do it this way than the other way. And I think that our group has been outstanding, the coaches especially, because they bring that good energy to practice or anything that we do. And for the most part, the players follow up with, they respond the same way. And you said it hasn't always been easy, because the NBA is tough. It's a tough business. There's wins and losses, and like everything else behind. But the environment has been very, very good, and that's how we believe that as we develop and get better in many different areas, this positive energy and work has to remain the same, with the same intentions every day, and that's the way that we're going to get where we want to get.
Where did you feel like your biggest point of growth was, maybe individually, was last season?
At probably controlling my emotions with the results. because understanding that wins and losses for you are not just on the standings. It's very pretty to say, but to actually emotionally like live with it day to day, it's not easy. You see the young guys get better. Our young guys play 6,400 minutes, the most that I think any rookies have ever played. There's different areas that they've got, that they're very good at, like Yegor's shooting and Nolan's playmaking and Ben's touching the paint and Danny's versatility and Drake's ability to guard the ball, like all those things that, we have the results and the numbers. And those are wins, and not just the rookies, everybody else. Nick's playmaking, and then Mike being more like his usage. Like you go to everybody, right? Like Z's 3-point percentage has improved a little bit. And those are wins. They just don't show up on the standings. And we all know it. We believe in it. We have a plan and the process that we're following it. But for me personally, I had to be diligent with what we're trying to do, and don't get caught too much. Obviously, I think that being competitive is very important, and it's not just that if you win or lose, it's how you win and how you lose. And I use this line, Michael Malone always said it, and losing the right way and winning the right way is very important.
You talk about those plans, you talk about wins, little wins, and you've mentioned this through the course of the season, the plans, like the actual plan for each individual player. And when you look at the summer, guys being here, guys spending time in Brooklyn, can you take us inside a little bit, a peek behind the curtain of like what is the framework of that for each player, just how it comes together in terms of individualized plans for the development and how you kind of track that growth?
Yeah, it's very collaborative here, from the front office to medical performance, obviously nutrition, the player development on the court. Like everybody brings in, like what the plan should look like, and then the players have to understand. And all this process works through the year. In season we do it in different ways because then we can show like how their development impacts what they do on the court. And now in the summer, after they've taken their time and so forth, these guys have shown up here and ready to work. And as you know, all this work is, they're all volunteer, and they already look older. They look bigger. They look like they've been working. Their bodies look really good. And it's exciting because not just, we have a lot of roster players here. The young guys have been here consistently, and this is the first summer of their NBA career. The last summer was not existent. They were doing draft workouts. They got drafted. They went to summer league, and they started we started right away, runs, preseason, and this is literally the first summer for them to get better and start gaining. And now you see the younger vets that we call them, like Daron and Noah and Jay Will, Josh, all these guys that are here, the same thing, willing to get better. That's what we want everybody to believe in, is you put your work in. The summer is a great opportunity to take those steps, and now excited to see them when the time comes, in the runs and in preseason, and see how much better we can be as a group.
Yeah, you talk about that. I mean, the team was so young. Like even the veterans were players on other teams that would be considered young. When you look forward, I know there's moving parts and what things will look like, but to this next season, what excites you most about the potential, the possibilities, and just the direction moving forward?
We may get younger, right? Because we're going to select most likely, from 1 to 3 new players. But also at the same time, the ones that we've had, they're a year older. So it's very exciting because you acquire talent and you develop talent. And then there's, the unknowns of the beauty of the NBA is free agency and all that stuff where, obviously Sean and his group do a great job with, and there's always the communication day to day on how we want to take the next steps or the different avenues, and but it's exciting because you can see all this work that we've put in. It's not just for the season or just for the games. It's always, you have like a long-term vision on how you want to get there and how you want to sustain success, which is the most important part for us.
You talk about vision, development, all that. We got extraordinary opportunity to see your journey. The Brooklyn Nets content team, I always say this, best of the best out there, from Badalona to Brooklyn, and it was special. It was cool to watch, I imagine, for all of us to get to learn your story, but this is a story that you lived. In watching it, was there anything that hit you differently when you saw it and when you kind of went through seeing the way it was all put together?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, it's an honor, right? Like, you have a lot of people that are very talented spending their time to do this, and for me and my family, it meant the world. Obviously, I knew the story and I knew the beginning and the end, but sometimes you forget. And like you said, the coolest part about that documentary was how well explained and how well put together it was. And almost you feel like they either even make you look even better. It's not just the story, is how you tell the story. And, that's the beauty of, in my opinion, like, good teachers and good coaches, and the team that we have here, and how well they do this. I've watched many of them, CTs and Noah and Dennis, and it's very special because you watch it and you get to learn about the person, about their families, their friends, how they were brought up to this level, and it's mine was special for me, but being able to watch these other guys was very special too, to know more about them.
I'm very familiar with them making us look better, because they do that all the time. Was there any feedback that you got? You look at the YouTube, and if our viewers and listeners have not watched it yet on YouTube, it's on the Brooklyn Nets YouTube channel. Was there any feedback that you got? So much from there was individuals from Spain or those that were from your home country, hometown. Was there feedback that you got from it, from anyone that watched, that really stood out to you?
Yeah, everything has been very positive. It's like the journey that you go through that many people don't know. I think that when you get to do a job like the one that I have, that I'm very fortunate, there is this path behind that not a lot of people knew. Some people know parts of it, but not the whole thing. And I think it was special for a lot of people to know and see or remember, or people that just have known me for parts of my journey, and they've missed the before, the after, or the in between, and to almost put the whole puzzle together. And very, very, like, from people that knows me and people that don't know me, and they've reached out, has been like very cool to see how much everybody liked the movie.
Yeah, it was amazing.
What if you could feel every pass, every shot, every moment of the game? One Court devices help fans who are blind or low vision follow live NBA action through trackable vibrations and audio commentary. Ticketmaster has teamed up with One Court to provide devices at Brooklyn Nets games at Barclays Center. When you're coming to the game, devices can be found at guest services located just outside Section 12 on the main concourse.
Part of who you are is you love to cook, right?
Correct, yeah.
What have you been cooking lately? Have you had more time now? Is the off season provide you? I don't even know if you can call what you have an off season, but provide you more time to cook and have some gatherings?
Yeah, I think we like to bring host for the most part and cook at home. And I think the last meal that we had at home 2 days ago, that we had people at the house, I made branzino. Very, very happy with the result.
Are things spicy? Is there a lot of seasoning? Like,
no,
do you have a style of how you prepare things?
Yeah, every dish is different. This one is like healthy, light, and like herbs and lemon and garlic, and bake it and with a bed of potatoes. It's very simple. It always works.
When did you start cooking? Where did it come from?
Early on, my parents, my grandma, both my grandma's parents, we've always had all these gatherings. Cooking at the house has been big because it brings us together. And my grandma especially, she is, like a very, very, very good cook. And my parents, they both learned from her, and I've learned from her too. And some of the things that I've done, like my zucchini lasagna, I've learned it on my own. But then a lot of the dishes that my grandma made, I've learned how to make them. So, also my kids can, like learn and experience what I used to eat when I was at home, right? And it's just great. I think it's the way of our culture to express love for each other and spending time together and sitting on a table and eating. It's pretty awesome.
Music in the background?
Always, yeah. We either have something on the whatever playlist that we can play, which probably Kelsey will be in charge of that. But if not, we'll have records playing, and I'll be more in charge of that. And I like to our guests to go and pick one record that they like and play it, and we can do it here too at the office. And it just brings us together, like good music and food, and cook together and spend time together, have the kids run around and have fun. And that's how I grew up, and that's how I want to keep doing it here too.
Yeah, the things you're talking about, the music, the food, the culture, the environment, a lot of it, I know you're already familiar with Brooklyn and have been really acclimated probably to the city before you even got here. What's been some of your favorite spots or things about now living in Brooklyn that you've appreciated most?
The community. I think that when you come and live here, you get overwhelmed with like all the big city and so forth. And this borough is different than you could say living in the like you think New York as a whole. But we have a great community that like we have friends obviously in the organization, but also the kids' school, and then the baseball team that my son plays in. And it's just very cool the way you interact with each other here, because like you're walking to a lot of places, you're very active. Like that's how I grew up, being very active in the city. And your backyard is almost like the park that you have by your house. And it's a great lifestyle. We've been very fortunate with the people we've met so far, and I'm sure that we'll meet some of the great people. And our kids and Kelsey, they're really enjoying living in Brooklyn, and the diversity, like the culture, it's very rich, and that's at the end of the day, it's where you want to be involved and having your day to day.
Do you have any favorite spots? Are there favorite spots that is a part of the routine?
Yeah. The kids after school, they go and play in Cadman. Cadman Plaza is like a big park with turf and trees, and they can run around, and you'll see over 200 kids playing every day, different sports. And it feels like, there's a lot of life there. Us personally like to bike around, scooter, walk through the piers, because we have a French bulldog and he needs his exercise. So the piers are amazing. And then we bike all over. Like we have some of the coaches that live in Carroll Gardens, we bike there too.
Do you have an actual bike and bicycles, or do you do the city bike?
Well, with the kids, we have electric bikes, and the kids they have a bench and they can sit. They have their own bikes too, which right now we're comfortable if we get through the piers. The piers are awesome. And then I would say we also go to Red Hook too, as well, because it's, that up and coming area with like, you can go to a brewery that it's kid friendly, and you can walk around, and like all those little things that make it very special. And we like to be active and be all over the place. I
appreciate it. You've given us a guide to your Brooklyn. All right, we've talked a lot about your music, the music you play. Do you have of your vinyls and of the records that you have, do you have a wish list? Like are there some that are really tough to get that you're looking for?
Yeah, I have the list right now. Out of the ones which one is next? I don't know, because
Are they hard to find? Like, is it more?
some of them are harder than others. Like right now that everything is repressed, it's probably easier. Like, but I still like to go to a record store and sort through. And like last time we were in Portland, which there's a lot of record stores. We went to an amazing one, and we took the video room because a couple of the video guys, they also have record collections, and we take them there. We buy them a couple of records, and I buy myself some, and it's really cool because you just go and some of them are on your list, and some of them are not, and it's almost endless. Like right now the two bands that are like Brooklyn based. That I recently bought records. It's LCD Sound System. I think they're in Williamsburg, and the National. They're also like they claim they're Brooklyn based. I know the National. I think some of them are from Ohio, but the band is based in Brooklyn. So trying to support them for sure, and they're amazing.
All right, time for the game then. Since we're talking about music, Hot Ticket presented by Ticketmaster. Experience your Nets live with Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, so I'm going to give you a name of a band and then give you another. The winner stays on.
Okay.
So we are going to start with the Blur or the Cure?
The Cure.
The Cure or Joy Division?
The Cure.
The Cure or the Smashing Pumpkins?
Tonight, Smashing Pumpkins. I'd probably go to. I think they're performing at Barclays soon, and I'm gonna go.
What makes the Cure so good?
I think it's like the time that it's more like I remember my past songs, and I don't know, like Friday I'm in Love, Boys Don't Cry, like it's. Those are songs that are going to be special forever, and that even kids right now that they don't know who the Cure is, they'll still be like, wow, that's great. It's almost like when Oasis came back and kids didn't know, now they're listening, and they're all like, rock and roll is such a thing again, right?
Yeah.
So
Smashing Pumpkins or Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Red Hot Chili Peppers, because one of my best friends is their favorite band, and I just said hi to Flea when we played in LA. It's a picture right there. Flea was probably looking at me like, who's this guy? But I'm gonna go with Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've seen them 2 or 3 times.
Okay. Red Hot Chili Peppers or Radiohead?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili Peppers or Green Day?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Ooh, okay. Red Hot Chili Peppers or the Arctic Monkeys?
That's a tough one. I'll go with Arctic Monkeys because of the early mid 2000s. That was a band that it brings me back to like my friends from home, and we were big fans.
The Arctic Monkeys or Vampire Weekend?
Arctic Monkeys.
The Arctic Monkeys or Pearl Jam?
Sean would go with Pearl Jam. I'm gonna go Arctic Monkeys.
The Arctic Monkeys or the Strokes?
Ooh, I would have them both at the same level. Like Steve probably goes with the Strokes, but anyways, Arctic Monkeys.
The Arctic Monkeys or Oasis?
Oasis. It's that's an easy one for me. Grew up with. They were my favorite band. I just saw them twice after they were mad at each other for many years. So I saw them last at 2009. I think I saw them in Barcelona. It's when they split, and now they're back they were back together for a tour. So very, very special.
Was it a large venue, a smaller venue?
I've been in 2, one in Manchester. It was 80,000 people, 5 straight nights of 80,000 people. So if you do your numbers, a lot of people. Yeah. And then I saw them at MetLife. Steve and I went to the concert. It was very, very special.
Are you participatory when you're at a live event like a concert?
Yeah. I had my bucket hat. I had everything. Like, I don't know if you know Oasis, but yeah.
Another one. I'll put it on the list. Oasis or Nirvana?
Oasis.
Oasis or the Talking Heads?
Oasis.
Oh, there we go. Oasis is the winner. Is there anyone else that was not on the list that you would?
Yeah, I mean it varies. I like electronic music. I like alternative, but I don't know. I'm a big Postal Service fan. I know they're like don't probably have a lot of albums, but I remember their early 2000s that that was a special band. The Beatles. I mean, you'll never go wrong with the Beatles. Bruce Springsteen. I like a little bit of the new, the old. Like the two that I just said, LCD Sound System and The National are amazing. So it's just good and refreshing to keep listening to new bands, old bands, and but yeah, the Beatles are probably, it's hard to overcome that band, but for me Oasis has been my number one. Yeah.
Who's in charge of the music at shoot-arounds or practices?
So with the coaches, so Pope is in charge of the music on the court. Pope is the most interesting man in the world. I don't know if you guys watch those commercials, but Pope can karaoke very well, almost as well as Kelly. And Pope is very, very versatile. I've seen him, performing several times, and he's impressive. He does a great job. Like all that positive juice and energy that we have on the gym, the music is a big part of it. Sometimes we bring our DJ here, and he does a great job. And then pre-game, the coaches, we have like a little routine of like a coach is in charge of the playlist, and if we win the game, the same playlist is played the same way in the next game, and then if not, is a new playlist, and we rotate everybody on the coaching staff.
Beautiful, beautiful, Jordi. We can't thank you enough for your time, all your time here in Brooklyn, and all the fun moments that I know we have to come. So thanks for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
This has been another edition of Nets Pod, presented by Ticketmaster. Don't forget, you can catch all other episodes on the Brooklyn Nets YouTube channel or anywhere you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time.